This man was adored by countless fairies. They even gave him a nickname, the Fairy Heart Thief. In battles, most fairies could not bring themselves to harm him, so they simply refused to fight. Recently, more and more monsters had been approaching Daichi, all showing affection toward him. However, Daichi could not form contracts with any of them, because his fairy's contract crystal had shattered. This crystal meant a great deal to the fairy. Even so, Daichi had greatly increased his skill levels, unlocked advanced abilities, and boosted his combat power. He decided it was time to explore the dungeon. The moment he stepped inside, his skills detected a trap ahead, so he walked around it without hesitation. Halfway through, he noticed several red dots moving in the distance. A giant spider appeared. Daichi showed no fear. He drew his bow, fired an arrow, and knocked the spider back. He followed with a wind blade spell, certain it would finish the job. However, the spider flipped over and lunged directly at him. Daichi used a newly unlocked skill to leap away, but he put too much force into the jump and hit his head in midair. Recovering quickly, he pulled out a whip, snared the spider, dragged it toward him, and smashed it to pieces with a single kick. He realized his legs were actually deadlier than his bow. At that moment, a group of small fairies appeared on the ground. They seemed to be guiding him somewhere. Daichi followed them to a cliff, where he found even more fairies. When he approached, the fairies scattered, revealing a stone. Underneath was a box, and inside the box was only an old, worn ring. Daichi thought it looked like the base for something else. Just then, a system announcement appeared. The second half of the Fairy Ball event, called the Fairy Battle Dance, would take place in a special PvP mode. Winning would allow a fairy to evolve into a new form, but fighting the same player repeatedly would not work. The top 16 players would qualify for a knockout tournament, and the winner would receive a large cash prize. A new title system would also be added after the update, with hidden titles awarded for specific playstyles. Players who had failed contracts could repair broken crystals through special PvP battles. The restoration had a 100% success rate, and could even result in a rare fairy. This news made many failed contract players happy, and Daichi was one of them. A new town called Nexia had also appeared, and it quickly became the hotspot for PvP players. The next day, Daichi logged in and found himself surrounded by players. He was confused, until he opened his title menu, and saw the words Fairy Heart Thief. It was a title given to those adored by fairies, and the only way to remove it was to complete one special PvP match during the event. Daichi felt horrified. The glowing title above his head drew even more attention, and to him it felt like public humiliation. He soon realized that all he had to do was fight once to replace the title. He called out to the crowd, asking if anyone wanted to PvP. A duel request appeared. It was from a woman named Rona, someone he knew from a previous guild. Rona was a martial artist, and looked forward to facing a close-range archer. Just as Daichi was about to accept, Rona's fairy suddenly flew toward him, with eyes full of affection. Before Daichi could react, the fairy cancelled the duel. Everyone was stunned. Rona's fairy had never refused to fight before. It landed on Daichi's shoulder, and the onlookers joked that he was seducing other people's fairies. They agreed the title suited him perfectly. Daichi only wanted someone to fight him, but every attempt he made was rejected by a fairy pet. He began to dislike the person who made this rule. Later, while Daichi was cooking, he received a private message from Rona. She wanted to ask him for a favor. Before she could explain, Daichi guessed that her pet was refusing to eat, and she wanted him to make fairy food. The reason he guessed so quickly was that there was already a line of players in front of him, waiting to buy fairy cuisine.